Luke, I am your father. Nah, I'm just kidding. Today, we talk about PPE, personal protective equipment in your finishing operation. Welcome to another edition of Air Power Live. All right, Eddie, let's talk about gloves. I know that there are hundreds, literally maybe thousands of different types of gloves. You don't need all of them for your operation, but I can tell you in a finishing operation, in general industry, general manufacturing, which a lot of our finishers do, there are a number of gloves that they need on the premises. So let's talk about a few of those.
Great. Okay, so for liquid painting, we have gauntlet style that comes up, protects your wrist, goes over the top of your sleeve of your protective PPE, either coveralls or lab coat like I have on, or the really nice coveralls that Travis has on that will take you into Ford, GM, Chrysler, and those plants. So this strip grounds you to the gun, the electrostatic gun, so you're in good shape there, right? If you're powder coating, we have powder coating gloves that also ground you to the handle of the powder gun. These are conductive, they're washable, you can launder them and continue to reuse them. Neither glove sweats you, so that's not a bad thing, right? Okay, so when you're doing solvents and you're washing up your liquid spray equipment, whether it's conventional gun, a pump, a nozzle, an electrode, whatever it is, with solvent, you got little cheap nitrile gloves, heavy nitrile gloves, right? The heavier nitrile gloves won't tear as easily and they will protect you much better. Just don't be sticking your hands down in the solvent. Long term, that's bad for you. Don't do it, right? Should your hands get dirty, wear two gloves and you peel them off, right? Get extra layers for that. Ovens, so when you go to take your powder coated parts, push them in and out of ovens or grab one out of an oven or push a rack in, pull a rack out. High temp gloves are used to protect your hands there. These are typically good for about 450 or so, which is about the top of the temperature range that you would be curing your parts at for powder coating anyway. So protecting your hands there. While we're protecting our hands, I want to talk about scrubs. Do not take your hands and wash them all out in solvent. If you've protected them, you're in pretty good shape. If you get just a little bit on you, take these, you pull them out. It's got a citrus-based cleaner on it that's not harmful to you or the environment. Clean yourself up with that.
Develops a soapy
residue
on the hand that then just dissolves.
And there's some pumice in it too. So when you need to clean yourself up, clean it up with this. Don't clean it up with solvent. These are inexpensive. Our partner Carlisle has these, and you can have those at your disposal, and you just toss them right off in your regular trash. They don't have to go into an oily rag can like if you were trying to clean your hands with an old solvent rag, right? So if you just had an old solvent rag dipped and soaked in solvent and you're cleaning all your stuff up, this has to go in an oily rag can that's a special can. It's got to be grounded and all that stuff. If you use this, throw it in the trash.
Not to mention the regular exposure to washing your hands in the solvent. It does go into your pores. You do have that, so you want to be careful there.
Don't do it. Bottom line, don't do it.
All right, we're going to move up a little bit farther than gloves. Not quite the brain, but right here. These are forearm protectors required in a lot of shops or a lot of factories that are running extruded aluminum or a high volume of moving racks with steel or aluminum. Because of the cut edges of these bars or the lengths of the extrusions, it's very easy to rub up against them every now and then. They can be pretty brutal. Sharp edge. So these are required in most of those shops. So if it's required, you need to make sure you're wearing the required PPE. But if you're in a situation, make sure, if you're in a situation where this is not required and you think, hey, there's a lot of risk there, just get one of these. They're not that expensive. You can get a set for both arms. Comes with a clip on top that clips straight onto your shirt up here on the top, or your paint suit, whatever, and it'll hold it in place throughout the day. It adds a little bit of warmth to your body, Wintertime, nobody complains about them. Summertime, they get kind of hot. They get kind of warm.
And you can launder them. So.
But it's well worth the risk, or well worth the temperature of dealing with that, and a slight bit of uncomfort versus slicing straight through your bodysuit or slicing straight into your skin and causing the need for stitches.
Again, your family wants you to come home safe at the end of the day, so be very conscious about that. And should you have any questions about any of these things here, right, call us, but certainly your first question should go to your EH&S person there at your facility, right?
Correct.
Your environmental health and safety person will know the codes for what you're doing at your plant, and it may be specific and have nothing to do with the plant that you came from before. So if you're swapping jobs, you're new to a place, talk to them about the PPE and they'll get you squared
Correct.
away.
Steel-toed footwear has come a long way.
It has.
I remember when, even at my age, I remember when the selections were awful. Like, just the comfort wasn't there.
Clunky.
Now you've got
Heavy.
manufacturers like Merrill and Keen that have taken basically like a hiking boot type technology and made that in a stainless steel option. These are my own personal, and I really like the fact that they have zip tie right there. So if I'm going into a plant, I can put them on very quickly and I can take them off very quickly and cinch as I go. So,
and that helps for lunch and breaks and stuff like that too, right?
I have a lot of road miles that I do in my vehicle, so it's easy to get out to the vehicle, take those off, and be ready to go with, Vans or something.
Or Vans.
Yeah, or Vans. I have a Vans problem.
So we haven't talked much about headwear really yet. We saw some of that stuff in earlier videos. Travis has a hard hat on now. One of the things that people don't recognize is that with liquid coatings, one of the most absorbable areas on your person is your head. So you have to watch out for that, more especially with isocyanates. That's probably a different subject, but protect your head. If it's the hood, you can protect your hat if you like your hat, right? But keep this protected too. The commercial grade painters, industrial painters out on job site using all the airless equipment and stuff, they'll typically use a head sock. You can use a head sock too. We got them here at Air Power. Just call for them. But this, just remind yourself, protect my head too, not just my nose, my feet, and my body, but protect my head as well.
Clothing, beyond headwear, let's talk about clothing. So clothing is often dictated by the facility that you work in, what they require you to wear. Some of them are color coded. I know if I go into some plants, I have to wear, even if I'm not required anything but maybe a hard hat and ears and eyes, they'll make me wear either a yellow one of these or an orange one to indicate, indicate employee or guest or supplier. Right. So we have our own set of rules we have to follow going into customers' facilities. But there are a lot of different things that we have at options for clothing. The simplest would be the Tyvek suits. They order them all the time. They don't breathe real well.
They're very hot, but they stop liquids from penetrating. So if you've got splash, if you're the guy on the line required to wash these parts with, say, a pressure washer, and you got splashback, then that's going to be different PPE for you than it would somebody else, right? And if sometimes you get the coating on you, maybe the Tyvek's going to protect you better for penetration than to not get it on your underclothing, and then it would stay on you and maybe burn you after a period of time. But they're hot and they do lint a little bit. The particular lab coat that I've got on is very breathable, it's very lightweight, and it doesn't burn you up, and it keeps the overspray off of you. Overspray, I wouldn't want to pour liquid on this, but overspray, it'll protect you very well from that, right? The next step would be full coveralls out of the same material. And then when you get to the style that Travis has on, we're required to have these in automotive assembly plants and tier 1 facilities that they are approved by the big three, Ford, Chevy, Chrysler. If you do not have that type of suit, you do not go in the paint room, period. Yep. They just have that level of quality because they don't want to take a chance for you linting and contaminating the product and having rework.
If you need help with PPE, if you want to talk to Air Power, please call us at 800-334-1001 or visit us online at airpower-usa.com, or even better, head over to your favorite social media channel, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. We've got channels in all of those. We're located in all of those. So we'd love to see you. We've got a lot of videos posted, a lot of articles posted, and reach out to us. We'd be glad to help.
See you next time.